So let's get right into this. First of all, I have two boys. They're 21 months apart, right? Wow. And so I've got JJ and Zach. So I'm curious, who's the older one?
Who do you think?
Don't put me in this position. I'm gonna say Adam, you're older.
Nope.
No?
Only by a year and a half.
Okay.
That's good. I like this. We're moving.
We're moving.
Yeah.
I gotta get moving.
So you're Irish twins, basically.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you also have another sibling.
Yes.
We have a sister who's another major hustler in Connecticut.
Okay.
Selling houses in Greenwich and Connecticut, in Fairfield. So
nice.
Yeah.
And
We're
is she the youngest, or where does she sit? So she's the
youngest.
baby sister.
Baby
Yes.
sister.
That's what you want to have.
Shout out to Aaron.
Yeah, and
We
I've got a daughter too who is going to be well protected by her two
that's
brothers
awesome.
for sure.
Of course.
So I want to kind of get into this because you guys are very inspiring. I've looked at some of the information that Jenna has shared with me. I watched a couple videos, and so I'm prepared for this interview, man.
Cool.
So we're gonna bring it
Adam's
here.
the ultimate inspirer.
Hey, so I'm sorry to interrupt. No, if you wouldn't mind, could you
Move up.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yep.
You can be like that. Just if you just position it a little bit closer to you.
Got it.
Got it. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, we're good.
We're good. Let's talk entrepreneurship first, okay? So who led the journey down the entrepreneurial path? Who was the first one to kind of be an entrepreneur
Amongst
as a kid?
us?
Yeah.
Or our dad.
Your
was the
dad?
first one. Yes, for sure.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So my dad started Birchcrest Marketing back in the day, which was like, he was selling stuff to Kmart. And,
Okay.
I think, I started, out of college, started Be Direct companies, but my dad was the first one in our family to really, say, hey, let's do this. Let's do, do our own thing.
So now, was your mom actively involved in the business too? Or?
My mom was super mom.
She was
right,
super
at the
mom.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was super mom. So she was like an amazing mom.
Yeah.
So my dad could go and do. There's a whole nother story about my dad, but he could.
Hey,
do
we're gonna
crazy
get into that
events
too.
if
I've
we
seen
get into
some
that,
videos for sure.
But yeah.
Yep.
So
Uh-huh.
my mom was just super mom, right? And at home and crushing it at home.
So now, as growing up, right around the house, like your dad's like in business and he's in meetings and he's probably in suits and stuff like that. Was that inspiring for you guys?
Of course,
as kids?
every day I loved it. Looking at what he was always dressed to the nines with a suit and a tie, because that was in back then, and he was just. It was just great. He had so much energy and so much passion, so much love for people. It was incredible.
And what was your dad's name?
Barry.
Barry.
Yes.
Okay. And mom's name?
Margot.
Margot.
Yes.
Got it. And so where did you guys grow up?
We grew up in a suburb outside of Detroit, West Bloomfield.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And what was school like for you guys?
I mean, school. Well, I thought I was going to be, the next, Babe Ruth or
so
George
you're a
Brett.
ball player.
Yeah, I was a baseball player, quarterback in high school. So, that was, we were big sports people, like in Detroit. We loved the Lions, loved the Tigers, loved the Pistons. Huge bad boy. Growing up, bad boys were it, right? Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, all of that. We were huge fans. So then it was really about sports.
Sports.
Right? Yeah.
I was just watching Noah every move. I'd go to all the sporting events, every activity I was there. I would do therapy to try to improve my physical ability, but really was involved in I just wanted to be like everybody else. It wasn't looking at my chair as a disability. It was looking for an opportunity just to be like everybody else and have fun.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, was Big Brother a role model for you back then, or what?
Absolutely, since day one. It's really unique, the relationship between the two of us, because it's never been about competing. Because I'm his biggest fan and vice versa.
Yeah.
Because we never competed. We always just cheered for one another.
Yeah.
It was really, the most special thing we could do. I would love to go to his games. Every game I would go to, and I would sit there. We'd drive in the car together. We'd talk about strategy, how we're going to look at this, what are we going to do here. And we'd pump each other up, listen to music, whatever it took. But we were always together doing things, always.
And that's a testament, I think, to the way you guys were raised, probably.
Oh, for sure. Well, listen, our parents were, we had, we always had our fun, right? Like, that's one thing my mom and dad for sure preached us is we were together, but like, you know, we were having fun, like, for sure, like laughing, and you know what I mean. It was like obviously there was some, you know, there's always some family moments, but like, you know,
there's always the drama.
There's always
right?
family
we don't
drama,
talk. This is more of the Facebook version of the show, right?
Yeah,
Our house was literally like Grand Central. Everybody would come over, watch the game, grab some food, and then, you know, my dad may put somebody to work to help take out the garbage or something.
Yeah.
But our house was lit. We'd throw the ball around, big yard, you know, just do whatever.
So now, did you guys ever think in like, you know, 10th, 11th grade as you're sitting there, like someday, man, we're going to be sitting in a podcast studio in Hollywood, California? Like, was this in the cards for you guys or what?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, listen, I think, you know, whether it was going to be sport, I mean, at that time, I probably thought I was going to be, you know,
playing for the Dodgers, right?
Yeah, playing for the Dodgers or whatever. But you know what? Listen, we grew up with a can-do attitude for sure, and like we were going to win 100%. So like whether we're going to get into business or whether it was going to be sports or whatever, like we were for sure going to do something.
So,
I felt that way.
What I felt was I was going to be, you know, traveling the world or the U.S. watching Noah play baseball games, just in different stadiums.
Yeah,
That's what I thought. Like, just be cheering him on every day, and, you know.
So what happened then? So did you play college baseball?
Yeah, I played a little bit at Michigan State, and then it's a long story, but you know, had a little issue with the coaches there.
Okay,
and then I was going to go to Arizona. Played for Pima Community College, was a community college outside of University of Arizona.
Yeah,
and then just ended up having a lot too much fun, and you know, ended up going back to Michigan State, but stopped falling. You know, I fell out of love with baseball at that time. It's a long. I don't know if we can get into it, but like it was a long story back then. You know, it was an interesting situation that happened, but like, yeah, it was definitely like a learning thing. But you know,
so when I was like, I don't know, maybe like 7 years, I was a baseball player too. You know, if my mom or somebody asked me, so what are you going to do when you get older? I'd be like, duh, that's a dumb question. I'm a professional baseball player. What do you think, right?
Yeah,
you know, that was just it.
Yeah.
You know, but then my backup plan was selling lollipops in school, right? Blow pops for a quarter.
I used to do that.
Did you?
Of course. 50 cents. Are you kidding me?
You were double the price of me.
Really?
Huh?
You were 25 cents? It's unbelievable. 50 cents. I used to love selling. Like, that's one cool, like our family, not just my dad, but our family, like we would sell T-shirts at University of Michigan football games. We'd sell candy at school. We were constantly umbrellas.
On rainy days, right?
I'd sell neon glow sticks at 4th of July parties. Like, we were nonstop, like selling stuff. Like that was like, you know, growing up. Like I mean, I think I had a job since I was 10 years old. Like, you know, selling, like what you name it, we were selling. Like,
so the whole entrepreneurship was ingrained in your DNA.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Selling stuff.
And
like,
even your sister, you said she's selling houses. And stuff, right?
Selling stuff. Like that was kind of it. Like I don't even know if we thought of it as like starting your own business, just like selling stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Like that was
I think just building the relationships with people and just love and having a great time. You know, whatever it was.
So let's talk about selling stuff, right?
Yeah.
So fast forward now, it sounds like you both are on this entrepreneurial journey still. Yep. From what I understand, there's multiple companies, right? So maybe walk me through, you know, what Be Direct is, first of all. What is that?
So Be Direct is like a holding company for a couple of different companies.
Okay.
One is Team Direct. Which Team Direct has 65 people down on the ground in Bentonville, Arkansas, and works very closely with Walmart and works with consumer brands to Walmart. And so, you know, Team Direct is all things Bentonville, Arkansas, and we are constantly looking for the next big brand to represent at Walmart, and so we do. We represent some of the biggest brands you could possibly imagine, and emerging brands, and bring them to Walmart. So that's a great business, and a business. Team Direct's been around for about 20 years, and it's been extremely successful and amazing, and very, very proud of that. And then there's Vendo, which, you know,
I see the hat.
Vendo, which started about 4 years ago with the Amazon and marketplaces have been, you know, such a rise, right? Like so many people are trying to get on Amazon and not doing it right. And Vendo really helps manage these up and coming brands on Amazon and third party marketplaces. And so we have a team of now, I think 75 It's a rapidly growing business that's really doing great and really finding, the best emerging brands out there. Right?
Really?
So it, and both of them really complement each other because, I look at, Be Direct, like, it doesn't matter, the customer is the customer and they just want to shop where they want to shop. And so we're kind of building this platform of the, of these emerging brands that they can reach customers in the way that they want to reach customers, and hopefully, with experts that can help them and guide them through that life cycle. So
if I'm, if I develop like this little widget here, which we walked
Yeah.
in, it's funny you grabbed that. Like I sell tons of these things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This little popper thing.
Yeah.
I develop a product like that.
Yeah.
I reach out to somebody on the Vendo team,
Yeah.
and you can help me with everything from the branding to the marketing to getting it tell me a little bit more.
So on something like that, right? Like, so we're talking about widget spinners,
There you
right?
go.
Like that, that one specifically, right? Like we would talk to Walmart because, we are on Team Direct, we're, very in tune with what's trending.
I see.
Right? And that's a trend, not a brand.
Okay.
That's a trend. And
Yeah.
so we would help, and what we've done in that category is we helped build a fidget spinner, a fidget type set.
Okay.
Right? And the client that we would work with, we would build towards that and kind of discuss with Walmart, like, hey, this is an up and coming trend. This is something that we think there's an opportunity, and hopefully, right,
Yeah.
it does. And so we would work with those manufacturers of, getting them ready for Walmart, getting them logistically ready, get them, because at the end of the day, Walmart's going to sell, hundreds of millions of these things.
There they are.
Right? So you got to be able to ship.
Sure.
Right? You got to be able to, keep your in-stock because it's, it's real volume.
Yeah.
So on the brand side, it's different because brand, you got to keep your brand up, right? So pricing's different. The thought process is different. Keeping pricing from Amazon to Walmart is a different mindset, right? So we hold brands' hands on all of those functions.
I see.
Yeah.
And how did we're going to get into your story too, because I see your hat here, but how did you even kind of get into this whole world? Were you like a student of marketing or?
So again, back to our dad. My dad was a broker to Kmart.
I see.
And so he was, always going to trade shows. And so when I was young, I would go to trade shows with him.
Got it.
And we'd find, he would find some of his brands were like Famous Amos cookies or bicycle playing cards, right? Like he would go and he would sell those things to Kmart, but he would go to the trade shows and try to find, these emerging brands.
I got it.
And so we learned from him.
Same thing. You were kind of going to the trade shows with Dad, kind of taking it in.
Yeah, I mean, it was just great to be out there. I wasn't involved day to day like Noah, but I was always a fan from the outside, because of the travel and whatnot. It was a little bit more difficult for me to travel back then, but technology's gotten so much better with the rental cars and the airplanes. Makes it a lot easier for me to travel and move around. But I've always been in that industry, or just in it because of them. Like I said, being their biggest fans and just watching it.
Yeah.
Which is great.
So now going back to high school days for you, where did you envision yourself? I know you're going to travel the world and see your brother play ball, right?
Right.
But what other passions did you have back then?
My passion has always been connecting with people and just being out there having a great time. Just focusing on what I could do, not what I couldn't do. And that comes down to the CanDo brand. And just being out there every day, enjoying life, doing whatever.
So you just said something very telling, right? Can do.
Yes.
Focus on what you can do versus what you can't.
Yes.
So who came up with that? You?
Well, it's been instilled with us from our parents. They always said, and I talk about this every day. When I was a young kid, I always, thank so much that nobody put me in a corner. They knew that I was special, not because I was in a wheelchair, but because the heart and the way that I carried myself, and they gave me an opportunity. And again, it was always about what I could do. Let's focus on what Adam can do and put him in a position to succeed, just like Noah. There was no limits, and it wasn't, like Noah got his driver's license at 16. I got my driver's license at 16. It was just one of those things.
You did crash that first day.
Thanks for bringing
Just
that
letting you know. It wasn't his fault, but it did happen. Someone tried to run him off the road. Can you believe that?
Oh my God, man.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
And that's
I
back.
had to bring that up on the show.
Oh, we're supposed to be transparent on the
That's
show.
the brother
right?
badinage right
Yes,
there, right?
exactly.
For sure.
Jeez.
Huh. Hey, I'm a big fan of, like, it's all a matter of perspective, right?
Yes.
Your mind is so
Yes.
powerful, right? And sometimes, paralysis analysis, right?
Yes.
You start to get in your own head and you start to believe that.
Yes.
And it doesn't sound like that's kind of in your thought process
Never.
at all, right?
And I've never one day felt bad for myself. And if people have the energy to feel bad for me, then they have the energy to make themselves feel better. And that's what I want, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it's not about me, it's about us and how we can improve and how can I help you become better, because so many people have helped me throughout my life be the person that I am, and I'm always indebted for that.
Well, one thing I could tell, like the moment that you walked in, both of you, was your energy level is just like contagious. Like, it's just very welcoming and friendly, and it's like, I want to go to dinner with you and hang out with you. I mean, it's like, seriously, you've got that energy about you. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Again, we get it, from one another. We feed off each other. Nobody gets more hype than me and Noah and Aaron, and of course we get that from our parents and our dad. He was the life of the party. Every time we walked in, he had a gadget or something to give to somebody, and a great smile and a great hug and a great story to share.
Yeah.
So we're just, it's in our DNA for sure.
Yeah.
So now, CanDo, is this just a brand that just serves this merchandise, or what?
No, CanDo is the company that owns Keto Krisp,
I got it.
right?
Okay, I see.
Yeah. So it's the CanDo company.
Okay.
And CanDo's first product is Keto Krisp.
Is Keto Krisp?
Yes,
Okay.
which has been very successful, and you can see it, at Erewhon and Whole Foods and Walmart and you name it, Sprouts, at Costco. I mean, it's really doing great.
And it's only a couple years old,
Yeah,
right?
2 years
We
old.
launched in 2019.
So
Yeah.
what is the secret to the success there? Like, you know how hard that is to pull
Well,
off?
I mean, listen, we saw an opportunity.
Okay.
Adam, we can get into a whole deep conversation.
Well, let's
how it
talk
really
about
started.
that. Yeah. Let's talk about, like, so
'Cause
what
it's
was the
talk about-
inspiration behind not the CanDo but the keto bars and the keto lifestyle? What was the
I'll
inspiration?
tell you. It's a whole story.
Okay,
So
let's
we have
get
a little
into
minute,
it.
right? So back 2016, top of the world. We're on top of the world. Everything's great. My now wife and I are, just having this amazing relationship, and I throw this party in Santa Monica.
Okay.
There's about 80 people. It's like an end of summer party, all white, amazing party. And we go to bed after about, a great night, probably about 3 o'clock in the morning. At 6 in the morning, we're at our house in Santa Monica, a great area, and we hear a scream, death scream coming from the guest room. And my fiance, or wife now, sorry, opens the door and goes, "What's going on, Paul?" Screaming. She goes, "Oh my gosh, Noah, someone's at the door. Someone's at the door." And we open up the door. She opens up the door, or I open up the door, and it's somebody with a mask on, all covered up. Someone's in the house. She's screaming, and I just get up and I start punching this intruder.
Oh my God.
And turns out he has a gun, and he shoots me.
Wow.
Shoots twice. One misses. One hits me in the stomach, and he leaves. Right. And thank God he leaves. And I'm like, oh my God, I've been shot. And never thought in a million years that would ever happen. It was like you're just, your intensity is crazy. And get rushed to the hospital, get to UCLA, and they do a little bit of a procedure, but are like, hey, you're lucky. This is $1 billion shot. It missed everything, kind of a thing. Well, it turns out, you fast forward 10 days later, it didn't miss everything. It hit my colon, and I was pretty much pronounced dead like 10 days later, right? Get rushed to Cedars-Sinai, and this doctor, saved my, got me back. I was in a coma for 7 days. But when that happened, Adam, of course, who's my biggest fan, and obviously, so close, was there. And so I went through probably about 15 surgeries to, resuscitate me, like put my stomach back together, all the different things. And Adam was there. And, through all of it. And, I think I was in the hospital for like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and then went back home, and I'm like, Adam, you got to stay with me. right? Because there was still so much stuff. Like I couldn't walk. So here I'm in a wheelchair.
Wow.
Next to Adam, who's in a wheelchair. It was kind of a interesting twist. And through that time, Adam, just obviously, it's interesting because, we spent so much time together as kids, and then all of a sudden, you kind of, become adults and you don't spend as much time together. Well, all of a sudden we're back together.
Yeah.
Which is cool, right?
Very
and
cool.
We had a friend and chef that's like, Adam at that time was, I think, 75 pounds overweight. He went through some stuff that he was kind of dealing with, and this moment really brought us together. But I'm like, Adam, you got to get healthy. Got to get healthy. You're 75 pounds overweight. You're now 40-something years old. Like, let's go. And we have the chef, and he, we brought into his diet, the keto diet. And so that's where the Keto Krisp bar kind of came, because we started talking about all these different healthy alternatives and things out there, and keto was just becoming bigger, and there was nothing great tasting.
And what year was this?
Like 2016, 17.
2016,
Yeah,
17.
2017.
Okay.
So we started talking, we started tasting things, and we started, really ideating of what, this bar could possibly be. And then because, you mentioned we have, friends in the industry, Anthony and others that, because this is the business I'm in, I'm like, let's create our own bar. Let's create something, and that's how it all started. So it's kind of a whole story, but it, we turned something that was, extremely scary and negative and something into a real can-do moment.
So were you at that party that night?
I wasn't, and it was funny. Noah called me the day of the party. He's like, dude, you should fly out here. We're going to have this great party. We got this whole thing set up with the DJ. And I'm like, dude, I'd love to be there. You got to give me a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Because he called me that afternoon. And I'm like, sounds like a great time. And then I get this call at 7 in the morning. Noah's been shot. What do you mean, been shot? Nobody gets shot. Oh, my God. So we immediately go to the airport. I'm living in Phoenix. I just sold my house in Phoenix. I was in the process of moving to Miami. And get on the plane.
When you say we?
Me.
Just
I say
you.
Me, sorry.
Okay. It's all right. I didn't know if anybody else was with you. Okay.
No. And head to the airport and trying to get a hold of Noah. I'll never forget it. We're walking to board the plane. I finally get a call and just break down because I know he's alive.
You spoke with him?
Yeah, spoke with him. And, immediately rushed to UCLA Hospital where he was, and just really for the next 6 weeks, for the next year, didn't leave his side, vice versa. So.
What an amazing brother you are.
Vice versa.
Was mom and dad still around?
Our dad, unfortunately, passed away about 11 years ago.
Okay, I'm sorry.
With esophageal cancer, which is, just crazy. But our mom is.
Your mom's still
and my
around.
sister, yeah.
Where was mom at the time when all this
She was in
happening?
Phoenix.
So she got the...
Yeah, and then we both flew out together.
I see.
And to be with Noah, and so that's how that happened.
Sorry about that, but it sounds like that was an awakening that brought you both together and made you stronger and started the business now, and here we are, and you've got this product called Keto Krisp.
Keto Krisp.
Yeah.
Keto Krisp.
Yeah.
And can I try one of these things?
Of course.
Yeah.
And you got to try the newest flavor. It's called butter and salt.
Butter and salt.
Yes. Good catch.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so who came up with the name?
That one I did, actually.
Is that right?
It's my favorite guilty thing. I like anything with butter and salt. So, I don't know. Yeah.
Tastes like something healthy but delicious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Butter and salt. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you said people can get this Costco.
Well, this particular flavor, you can get
really good,
on
guys.
direct to consumer and Whole Foods. We just did an exclusive launch with Whole Foods nationwide. So, yeah.
It's delicious, guys.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Yeah.
And so how many flavors are there with this?
Now we have 7.
Seven flavors.
Yeah.
And you're going to leave those here for me, right?
Of course we are.
Boxes, right?
Boxes.
Oh, we got boxes of them here.
Yeah,
oh, my
of course.
God.
Oh, yeah.
No, we will be sure to.
We
help
always
promote them.
pass out bars. We have a motto: bars and miles, bars and miles, bars and miles.
I love it.
Yeah.
And so what's so you've got 7 bars. Is the goal to continue to develop new flavors or new types of bars, or where do you guys think you're going to go with this?
Yeah, no, actually, we're in process of launching a new cereal.
Okay.
Which will be amazing. But yes, the goal is to continue adding flavors, adding maybe functions, right? And then also other categories. So performance cereal, you'll start seeing. So yeah, we're going for it.
We are big on innovation. And always bringing the latest and greatest. And I think that's just a great talent of Noah's, is to really understand the market. And what I've really learned is how he just listens and is tuned into what's going on in the world, especially when it comes to CPG and understanding the customer. And we are obsessed with knowing our customers. And
well, you know what? Sometimes people don't just buy the product. The product is amazing, right? But people like to buy stories, and right, and that is where I think you've got a competitive advantage here. Right?
For sure.
From that incident that happening to you being, you said about 40, 50 pounds overweight.
65, dude. He was like double his size.
Is that right?
I ate myself.
Yeah. It was very unhealthy. It was
so were you in a depressed state at the time?
Not at all.
No.
I just I didn't do.
You were a little bit depressed.
Well, I lost my wife in 2015 to cancer.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So yeah, and that was obviously very, very difficult.
How long were you married for?
We were married for 4 years. We were together for 7.
Okay.
And during that time, we also lost my dad to cancer, as Noah said. So it was obviously a very difficult time.
Yeah.
But also, when you're in a chair, you don't move around as somebody, that's up walking every day. And then you're just, I just would eat whatever. I didn't really have a discipline or a lifestyle about my eating. I would just eat whatever tasted good. Pizzas, carbs, all you want, breads, whatever. And then, an opportunity, when I moved out to California, everybody said, Adam, you got to meet this guy, Jesse Billauer. He's in a chair also. He's got a great attitude like you. You got to meet him. So I was like, great, I got to meet this guy. And he founded an organization called Life Rolls On.
Okay.
And it helps people with special needs surf. Well, I'm living in Southern California now, so you got to try surfing, right?
Sure.
I've never been surfing a day in my life, but I've always wanted to try new things, because I think every day you want to try to make yourself uncomfortable, because that's how you improve every day.
Yep.
So I was like, let's go for it. And so it was June 1st, I think, 2019, and everybody came out, and it was such a great event. The people, the athletes were so excited just to get in the water and to just have that day that was all to them. And what was really unique is, growing up, I loved watching Noah participate in sports. But on that day, he got to watch me participate in my sport. And we were just so excited. It was just so awesome. But also, it was then that the light bulb went off, and I said to myself, if I'm in better shape, I could do more of these activities, because I love to be out there doing stuff. Noah and my sister are my role models. They're always skiing, working out, exercising. I'm like, I got to get my ass in shape. And that's when I started really focusing on the lifestyle. And it really wasn't keto right away. I just started looking at what I was putting into my body and taking out, and it was really based on the keto diet. And then we started looking at, the space, and really found, like Noah said, a real opportunity to do something great.
And so, it sounds like you had a good support system. That's half the battle, right? Is having the support system, right? It's one thing, like husband and wife, if one person's not on the program, it's really hard for both people to get on the program. So, it sounds like your brother, your friends probably all supported you.
And then just, I remember just being so disciplined because it worked. It was working. And I am so determined to win and to be successful and to be the best version of myself. And nothing was going to stop me. I don't believe in, not being able to get things done. There's always a will. There's always a way if you have a will.
Sure.
And that's just something I was born with.
And are you still surfing?
Yeah, when it's available. They do 15 tour stops throughout the country.
Okay.
So in June, they have a couple stops in Santa Monica. And so I'm definitely there all the time.
Adam actually won like Life Rolls On Athlete of the Year.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
If you ever want to see one of the best speeches you'll ever see,
Yeah.
he gave an unbelievable speech when he won the award. It was
Really?
incredible. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll make sure that
There was
we
not a
link that.
dry eye in the whole place. It was unbelievable.
I do have to say it was an incredible
awesome.
speech. I was so nervous because I've never spoken to more than in front of 5 people in my life, and to give a speech in front of
thousand.
Yeah, a couple thousand people, of all these people that are there supporting the event and donating, money and their time and whatever. It was just
It was a great event.
It was
awesome.
a great event,
Yeah.
and Jesse Bill Hour is an incredible man. And if people get a chance to check out his organization, Life Rolls On is truly a game changer and a real passion for Noah and I and for our company CanDo to be involved. And
Yeah, we're in CanDo gives a portion of its proceeds to Life Rolls On.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great organization.
Yeah. No, for those that are listening, check it out. What is it? How did they get to that?
Life Rolls On.
Life Rolls On.
Yep.
Got it. Good. So I hear you both are Piston fans,
Yes.
right?
Die hard.
Die hard.
Although the last 10 years have been rough. Sure.
So Jenna, our producer, came up with some questions. So we're gonna see
Let's go.
how much you know about the Pistons here. I don't know if these are hard questions, easy questions. Jenna's been known to come up with some tough ones. So so we'll go here. So did you know where the Detroit Pistons were originally located?
I believe it's in Indiana.
That is right.
Right.
Yes, like South
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Number one.
Yep.
Got it right.
That's actually a great question.
See?
Yeah.
Very good, Jeff.
Yeah.
Here's a tough one, and it's a multiple choice, but if you want to take a shot at guessing, we'll go that first. What is the most points the Pistons ever scored in one game?
Like 145 points against Denver.
Okay.
Something around there.
What do
I don't know
you
if that's the
think?
right number, but it's against Denver, I
I
think.
know,
Nuggets, I believe.
I think it is the Denver Nuggets.
Yep, you got that part of the question.
I don't have the right exact number.
I think it was a triple overtime game.
Okay. It had to be for this number.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the multiple choice: 159,
Okay.
168, 186, or 173.
168.
What do you think?
What are my choices again?
159, 168, 186, or 173.
159.
The correct answer is 186 points.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Holy,
Jeez.
that has to be one of
That's
the
incredible.
highest scoring games ever, I would
For
imagine.
sure. It has
right?
to be.
We'll have to check the
Yeah.
record there. Which Piston player is featured in a Super Nintendo game called Combat Basketball?
Dennis Rodman.
That's one of the choices.
Oh.
Bill Lambier,
Wow.
Isaiah Thomas, or Mark Aguirre? Is that how you pronounce the last name?
Mark
Aguirre.
Aguirre.
Aguirre, okay.
I'd say Bill
Got
Lambier.
You got it right.
Yes.
There
Good
you
job,
go. Who did the Pistons defeat to win their first NBA championship?
It's Portland.
It's either
No,
Houston,
not
it's
Portland.
Houston
No, no, no,
Rockets,
no.
LA Lakers,
No,
San
sorry.
Antonio
Lakers,
Spurs,
my
or
bad.
Portland
Lakers,
Trailblazers.
sorry.
It's all right.
Yep.
Got it right.
Yep.
So far, you guys are like 4 for 4.
Okay.
Who is the tallest player in the Pistons' history? William Bedford, Boban Marjanovic. I don't know if I slaughtered that name or not. Chuck Nevitt or Primoz Brezvec.
I'm going to say Chuck Nevitt.
You got it right.
Yep.
7'5".
Wow.
We
What-
actually met the guy. The
Did you
nice
really?
guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
very nice guy.
You look up to him like that,
Oh,
right?
Oh, yeah.
Which Detroit Piston coach has the highest winning percentage?
Hopefully Chuck Daly.
It's either Chuck Daly, Flip Saunders, Larry Brown, or Rick Carlisle.
I'm going to say Chuck Daly.
That one you both got wrong.
Really?
Larry
It's
Brown.
Flip Saunders.
Really?
That's weird.
Yep.
How long
Highest
was he
winning
there?
percentage.
How long was he there? He wasn't the coach.
He won
there.
176 games in 3 years and
Right.
led the team to the playoffs in Motor City.
Wow. That's
There you
interesting.
go.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Who was the first Piston with more than 250 blocks in a season? Bob Lanier, Ben Wallace, Terry Taylor, Andre Drummond.
I'm gonna
Bob
say-
Lanier.
Ben
Wallace.
Wow. Wallace is great. That's awesome.
These are great trivia questions.
That's a good one.
She's good.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Who was the first Piston to win Rookie of the Year award? Dave Bing, Don Meideke, Grant Hill, or Isaiah Thomas?
I'm going to say Dave Bing.
Don Meineke.
Wow. That's a good one. That's way back then.
Anyway, good questions. I'll finish it off with this one. Which Piston holds the NBA record for the most free throws in a game? Kind of like, I guess, a Shaq. The Shaq, what? Oh, I'm sorry. Which Piston holds the NBA record for the most missed free throws in a game? Isaiah Thomas, Andre Drummond, Jerry Stackhouse, Otis Thorpe.
Andre Drummond?
That's right.
There you go.
There it is.
He wasn't great.
Do you know how many, this is a trivia question. So Shaq missed free throws, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's what he was known for.
Yeah.
Guess how many three-pointers he ever made in his career?
2.
What do you think?
1.
Just right.
One?
It was 1. It was
Wow.
like a game buzzer beater, and he
That's so
just kind
funny.
of threw it up, and that was
And made
the
it?
only
Did he win?
three-pointer.
That was a game winner?
I don't know if it was a game win. I don't think it was a game winner. It was like maybe like a halftime kind of shot or
Wow.
something
Right.
like that.
We'll talk about, start about like, our hustle mentality talk and leads to the Pistons. We, my dad's, our friend, his name's Billy Barris, created, the Bad Boys.
Yeah.
The Bad Boy t-shirts and all that stuff. And so I actually worked in the t-shirt facility, and we would make the t-shirts and I would go sell them when the Bad Boys were like super hot. back in the
Really?
day. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad
Sold a lot of
Boys. It was
t-shirts.
huge.
Yeah. It was huge back then.
Huge.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't even know about that. And like,
Bad Boys?
No, I kind of know that. I grew up, in New York is where I grew up, right? So I was kind of
we beat the
watching.
Knicks.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. We
Beat
had
up
some
on the
battles with the Knicks.
Major battles with the Knicks.
Oh yeah, you
Charles
did.
Oakley, John Starks,
Starks
Oh,
was
yeah.
amazing.
of course
Amazing.
Patrick Ewing.
I remember I used to wear my Patrick Ewing sneakers.
Oh, yeah.
Back in
course.
those days, right?
The Knicks were unreal. That was great.
Yep, Spike Lee would be walking.
Yeah.
Right.
He's still walking on the sidelines.
So I was before the show. Jenna included a video of your dad.
Yeah.
An interesting guy.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
They call him what?
The great imposter.
The great imposter.
Yeah.
So, what was that all about? Like, was your dad like a practical joker? Like, I'm curious. Like,
Yeah.
walk
I
me
think
through
like
that.
me and Adam said, like my dad was like the funniest guy, just a complete character, right?
Yeah.
6'4", handsome, just super confident, super, friendly. But like, if there was a joke or something funny, like he was like, all right, let's do it. Like it was a game
committed.
on.
And he
Yeah.
would always have products. Here, try this, try that.
Yeah,
Boom,
but
boom,
just
boom.
when the great imposter, he was like, someone dared him to do something.
Is that it? That's all it takes,
someone,
right?
Yeah, someone dared him to, at the time, do the NBA All-Star game was coming to Detroit.
Okay.
And he's a big sports fan.
Okay.
And he was at like a game, and it's a long story, but he ends up getting the Kansas City Kings uniform, which was hard to get back in those days. Like you couldn't just go to the store and buy like a jersey.
Yeah.
Right? And so he ended up getting the Kansas City King uniform, and one of his buddies bet him $300 that he couldn't make a layup during the NBA All-Star game.
Okay.
And he's like, all right, he took it seriously, and he knew somebody in the Pistons organization that could sneak him down into the locker room. And so they snuck him down.
He gets dressed
And
up.
he gets dressed up, and he's 6'4", and he's got a big fro, and so he like sneaks into the line where the players are, and next thing you know, he's making layups. He's making layups. He's like taking jump shots, and the players like, who is this guy? And they were like funny. They were cool, and he was there. And next thing you know, the great imposter became like a thing.
Yeah.
And Brent Musburger ended up catching him like during halftime of that game, and then he gets thrown in, he gets taken out and whatever. But the news media caught on to it, and next thing you know, he's on Letterman, he's on Johnny Carson, and they're like, "What are you going to do next? What are you going to do next?" And so that's where the imposter, started. So yeah.
And he's done a lot of things, not just that, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking about what, maybe 15.
15 to 20. I mean, every sporting event, every event, he did the. You know, one of the funniest ones was he was actually he actually accepted an award at the Emmys.
We're at the Emmy complex here, right?
There we go. We're here.
We're here,
funny.
right?
Yeah. So he was here, and he put on an amazing. You know, he had the pink tuxedo, and his favorite show came on. I think it was Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember Betty Thomas from Hill Street Blues.
Okay.
Was not or like. People didn't stand up. She gets announced, and my dad goes up and accepts the award, and she ends up being there. And
she was there.
She was there, and my dad ended up getting thrown in jail, but it was on live television, and it was a really.
How old were you guys at the time?
I was probably like 12.
So you're watching this?
I'm watching it on TV.
We're like, come on,
serious?
Dad, do it.
Yeah.
And you knew he was going there to do that.
Yeah, we knew.
And we were watching the TV. I'll never forget it. We were watching the TV. We're like, Dad, this is your chance. Here we go. Because my dad had like third row. Betty Thomas had eighth row. And nobody really screamed for her. So my dad, back then they didn't announce whether or not you were going to be there. So my dad had a quick second to decide whether or not he was going to go up there. And he went up there, and as he was giving his speech, she shows up, and he just felt terrible and tried to apologize and go on TV, but she would have none of it. And she, my dad felt terrible and wrote her letters and whatever. But it was a great.
It was funny.
It was funny.
It was funny.
Yeah, because listen, my dad did these stunts, and back then the athletes would actually help. They thought it was hilarious, right? So like George Brett became like a really good friend, like
sure.
All-Star. He was at the All-Star games with them, shagging flies, doing the being a part of like the team there. He was in the Super Bowl. So we have the Super Bowl here in LA. My dad snuck into the Super Bowl in New Orleans.
You would think like they're onto this guy at some point, right?
Yeah. He was a referee, and it's hysterical if you ever watch the video. It's really funny. He's like in the middle of the game's about to kick off, and my dad's with the referee saying, "Hey, I got all the rules. I got everything down pat." And they're like, "Who is this guy? What is this guy?" But he was a larger than life character for sure. And
he was a cheerleader too.
Oh, yeah, Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
A Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
I was there. I'll never forget because being a young kid, and I was a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. Like, who didn't like the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders?
Yeah.
And next thing you know, we had a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader in our house. My dad's shaving his legs. He's got fake breasts on, dancing, doing the whole thing in our house. And he impersonated a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
What was your mom thinking, like with all these stunts?
I think in the beginning she thought it was hilarious.
Okay.
And then as we got older, and our dad was getting thrown in jail every other day.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of like, okay, hey, this is enough. Enough of this, right? But he became like there was like a good period of time where he was pretty famous. Like we'd be in Detroit, and he was like a Detroit guy, like autographs and the whole thing, and he was giving speeches, and he was like a well-known guy in Detroit. So it was cool.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was really cool for the kids. It was really cool, especially Adam and I, being sports fans. Right, like how cool is it? Like we're being invited to the locker room.
Got a chance to meet Larry Bird and Magic
Johnson. Magic. We would every locker room. They would all hang with us, and it was, and they all loved my dad. He was he
made people
funny.
laugh.
He made them laugh, and they were dying. They wanted to help him, right? Because they thought it was like really funny.
Yeah,
and he was an incredible guy. Like you could not love this guy.
So who's going to take the torch and become the next imposter? At least one of them.
I don't know. Well, listen, me and Adam have snuck into a bunch of events.
Okay.
Yeah, so we won't do it as like. But me and Adam snuck into the Super Bowl.
Did you?
Of course. We snuck into the Grammys. We've snuck in. No ticket, no problem.
Right.
We've snuck in. Trust me, it does not. We will sneak in anywhere.
Right.
See?
I bring my own seat.
Yeah.
You do, right? Yeah.
National championship football games. I mean, there's not an event that we probably haven't snuck into.
Making your dad proud.
Of course.
That is so awesome, man. Yeah. I love that. It's almost like like the like Borat. You know what I mean? Like some of the stuff he pulls off is just
awesome.
It's so funny
and that's
to
part
watch.
of the fun of it. The rush.
And he was just kind of being himself, right?
It's so funny. When I first moved out to LA, it's kind of funny. So I don't know if you know this, Adam. Before we were offered to do a reality TV show. This was like the beginning of reality TV shows. Me and my dad, where my dad was going to be like, all right, I need you to plan like this whole sneak thing where my dad was going to tell me how to sneak into something,
Yeah.
and then I was going to go do it, and they were going to videotape it, and it was going to happen. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it didn't. It fell through.
That would have been great.
It would have been hilarious.
Right?
This is
Yeah.
like 25, 30 years ago. It was
And
really
it could have been
funny.
every episode was going to be you doing something different,
something stupid,
right?
probably getting beat up. I mean, who knows? But it would have been funny. Yeah.
I would have totally watched that
Yeah.
show. Well, it sounds like you guys had an amazing set of parents, an amazing childhood. That's really, really awesome. We do this game. It's called Hennessey Heart to Heart, where we just ask some questions, and the first thing that comes to mind, you guys just kind of say, and we'll just kind of go with it. So I'll ask the first question is, when have you felt your biggest adrenaline rush?
For me, it was when I gave that speech for Life Rolls On. It was just incredible because I had no expectations. I wanted to do a great job. I was so excited and so honored to be part of such a great group, and just wanted to represent myself well and represent the family well. And so, yeah, for sure.
How about you?
I think having my son, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the second he came out,
Huh.
I think was definitely my
That's
biggest.
awesome.
Yes.
Something that you just can't explain, right? Seeing a child being born, right?
Yeah, I think, after getting shot and going through that, the one thing I didn't accomplish in my life, I didn't have kids and a family yet. And I remember thinking, that was a miss, right?
Sure.
And so when he came out, I just was like, that was it.
And what's your son's name?
Bond Barry Bremen, Triple B.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you have another one on the way here?
Yes, 2 months.
Congratulations.
Bella Aspen Bremen coming.
Bella.
Yeah.
I love it.
Bond and Bella. Yeah.
See? Keeping the B thing
Of
going.
course, yeah.
Yep. My daughter's name is Brooklyn. She's 5.
I love that name. It's a great name. That was on the list of possibilities.
Was it?
Yeah, BB.
She's the most amazing thing.
That's cool.
What would you say is your most cherished childhood memory?
Just being with our family, honestly, doing things together is the greatest for me. I loved every minute of being with family. It's just great. Whether it was a trip, instead of having a big bar mitzvah party, I wanted to do a big family trip. So we actually took a trip. We started in San Francisco, drove all the way down the coast to tour L.A., got Laker tickets because it's iconic when you come to L.A., you got to go to a Laker game.
Yeah.
And just being with the family is just awesome.
It's interesting that you say that because this summer we got we were going to go to Jamaica or something with the family and take a trip, and my boys are in high school, right? And it's you only have so many more of these trips as a family.
Right.
So instead of going to Jamaica, I called an audible. I'm like, we're not going to do that. We're going to fly to Chicago because the family has never been to Chicago. They've ever eaten deep dish pizza or anything like that. So we flew in. We spent about 4 days on Michigan Avenue hanging out in Chicago, eating good food. And then we actually rented a car and we drove we went through Wisconsin, right? We did Minneapolis.
Wow.
We did the Mall of America. While we were in Milwaukee, they had the NBA Finals there. And so we actually went.
Awesome. That's
Cool.
cool.
Me and my one son went to the game. That was awesome.
Wow, that's
right?
awesome.
That's always good.
And then from there, we ended up in South Dakota, and we got to see, the monument there.
That's a great trip.
Great.
So,
That's
but
awesome.
it's all a matter of creating, that's what you live for, is creating the moments and the experiences and
sure.
the stories, right?
Absolutely.
Not so much about the monetary things and stuff. That's
course
all
not.
cool, but it's all about the experiences.
Absolutely.
What would you say your most cherished childhood memory is?
I'm trying to think my most. I think again, it comes back to the family. I think just it was an everyday occurrence. So I don't know. It was such a great experience growing up. So I can't say it enough. We really had a special bond as a family, and not just our immediate family, but our cousins and
I would say a pretty big family.
Yeah,
there.
so we had such an amazing family that I think we all learned from each other. We're all still very close and do business things together. So I think, it was like an everyday thing, right? Whether, our grandpa would come over on Sundays, those type of things. And sports was such a big place. So all of it was a big part of our...
Just living every day.
Yeah. Do you guys get back home often?
At least once a year.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
And you got all the cousins
Yes.
and relatives and
Yeah.
stuff that
Yeah.
kind of
And
get
it's
together
great
there.
to see everybody, of course.
Got it. What's a goal of yours you'd like to achieve in the next 5 years?
Great question. Just from a business standpoint, we really want CanDo and Keto Krisp to be a household name, and whatever other brands that we create under the CanDo platform, would be fun. I love nothing more makes me excited than visiting with the customers, talking to them about the brand, the story, getting them excited, me showing the excitement, and just doing it with Noah. It's been, I've always wanted to be in business with Noah, and to have the opportunity now to do it and to do something special for ourselves and for our teammates is really, really cool. So just continue to grow that and just, continue to live life and see my nieces and my nephews grow up and continue on those great traditions that we had growing up as kids.
Well, it sounds like you started this company in 2019 right before a pandemic, and you've already got them in Costco and Sam's Club and all these other places, right? That's amazing. So it sounds like you're going to be living the journey here. Yeah. And what about you? 5 years
I think
goal?
for business, I think my goal, honestly, so we're building something called Platform, which is kind of taken over Be Direct, but we now have 150 unbelievable employee and people that work on our team, and I'd love to see that continue. I think we do such a great job from a business standpoint. We have such great, passionate people that really help brands and entrepreneurs achieve their goals, and I love seeing it because that's something I just grew up doing, like you said. So I want to continue that, multiply it, and continue that from a business standpoint. From a family standpoint, just we have another one on our way, and just I think to continue the legacy that we grew up on, hopefully continue that legacy throughout everything I do and we do.
So my day job, this is not my day job, but my day job, I have an agency as well, a digital marketing agency. We have about 150 people. And so part of our vision is to try to set up our team and try to get them to accomplish some of their bucket list items too.
That's awesome.
So
That's great.
It's a great feeling when you can kind of help other people accomplish
It's
some of their dreams. Ain't it?
So great.
Yep. Do you believe in deja vu, or is it just a coincidence?
It's a good question.
I do. Yeah, I believe in deja vu.
I
Absolutely.
do too.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Of course.
What is your greatest fear?
I don't have a fear.
No fear?
Really?
No.
Come on.
Snakes?
Oh, probably skydiving.
Skydiving.
You won't see me jump out of a plane.
Okay.
You know what? Unfortunately, I'm a terrible flyer, and so that's like my biggest fear. I don't know what it is. Like that is my biggest fear. It sucks.
Like getting on an airplane or flying an airplane?
Turbulence. I don't know. It sucks. I fly all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm a terrible flyer.
Interesting.
So that's like my biggest. I think it's a lack of control.
So you're a pilot?
No, I'm not a pilot.
Oh, you're not?
No, I'm saying I fly on planes all the time.
Oh, I got
but
I was gonna say
not good to be flying a lot and being afraid. It's not my.
That's your thing. I was gonna say that's something I don't trust myself. I would never trust myself with my own life in a plane. I'm the same way, man.
Yeah. So that's probably my biggest fear.
Yeah. If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
That's a great question. I think it'd be cool to walk.
Yeah, huh?
Not that I don't love who I am, but it'd just be cool. It'd be easier. I could play basketball. It'd be fun.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah. Trying to think. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah,
that's
right? When you have to kind of go do some soul searching
here.
I'm
going to have to do some soul searching, for sure.
This guy's perfect. You don't.
No, I'm not. I'm far from perfect. There's a lot of things.
He doesn't need to change one thing.
No, I got to change, for sure.
What's the greatest struggle you've overcome?
I don't look at it as a struggle. I look at it as an opportunity.
That's a good response.
And just dealing with life from this unique situation. And again, like I said before, I don't want anybody to feel bad for me because I don't feel bad one bit. I love who I am and what I stand for. And I love, being in the chair and, showing people that life can be great, even with challenges, and turning challenges into opportunities is really great. And I can't thank people enough, and our team and everybody, and my brother, my sister, family, cousins, everybody, you, this whole team,
What about you?
No, I mean, my biggest struggle obviously was, after getting shot was like, that was that tragedy. Listen, it was probably the biggest struggle, but then it turned out to be the biggest gift.
And do you ever have like post-traumatic stress about that, or what?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think one of the, being in big crowds, like, certain, like I used to be extremely like just naive on people, and now I'm a little bit weary of people, like especially strangers and certain things for sure. There's definitely a lot of that. So yeah,
anything weird like waking up, like nightmares and anything like that.
More of like being in certain crowds and areas.
I see.
Right, like I think that affects me, and it's weird. I have these like weird throw ups, and I think it's like it stems from a mental thing that I never had before, and like I've done all these physical tests, and it's not that. So I think there's definitely some anxiety from just that, right?
Let's see here. Have you ever seen something you can't explain? Get you deep thinking here, huh?
Yeah.
I guess the love and respect that I have for this guy.
That's a great answer, yeah.
That's a good answer. Not like a UFO?
Well, giving birth, right? That's something you can't explain.
That is something I can't explain.
Right.
Yes. That feeling, like I said before, was, it's like, at least for me, because I started late, like I was, wild and pretty crazy back in the day, and to have that and have, it hit me the way it hit me was for sure, something I couldn't explain.
What's the most memorable Hollywood, only in Hollywood kind of stories that you've got?
That's a good question. I think, let me think. No answer?
I got a bunch.
I'm sure you do, right?
I got a bunch. But I don't know. I'm trying to think. I was at the Cannes Film Festival.
Okay.
And firing all night with Mick Jagger was probably a good
what?
Good night.
Okay.
Yeah. That was. But I mean, I can't repeat all the things that was going on. But we had. Yeah. I mean, I think that was probably one of the fun ones.
Mick Jagger. So I'll
Mick Jagger and amongst others, but he was just one of the coolest.
So my old business partner, his brother is married to Mick Jagger's daughter.
Oh wow,
Karis Jagger.
Wow.
And so we came out to L.A. and he's a big director and everything, and we were staying in his house, because it's his brother, right?
Yeah.
And so you're walking around and there's like photos of Mick Jagger, like with the kids and at the wedding, and that was kind of surreal. That was definitely an only in Hollywood experience for sure.
Yeah.
I'll make this easy. Who's the most famous person you've seen in Hollywood?
It's a good question. I know Noah has the answer.
Well, no, I mean, being in Hollywood, Adam, you've seen a million celebrities. What is wrong with you?
Larry David was really cool.
Oh, you met Larry David?
That was great.
Really?
Noah and I were having dinner at Nobu, and usually you see celebs walk in and out, and then you just want to, let them do their thing. But Noah and I were eating, and we're like, we got to go up to him.
What do you mean? He went up to you.
Did he?
Yes.
But no, we were sitting at the table. We saw him leave, and we both went out to get the cars. And I said, Larry, it's so nice to meet you. Thank you for giving everybody so much entertainment throughout the years. And I said, my name is Adam. And he's like, it's nice to meet you, Adam. We started talking. He's like, did you see the episode Wendy Wheelchair? I don't know if you watched Curb Your Enthusiasm, but it's a great show where he dates somebody in a wheelchair.
And he asked you that?
Yes. And he's like, so, how did it go? And he's like, what do you think? And I thought it was hysterical. We just had a moment.
It was one of the best episodes.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
Really?
It was just so cool, and he was just so down to earth, and we'll never forget that.
That's awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So I've got two. So we just moved to California, right here in Toluca Lake.
Yep.
We walk into this restaurant. There's nobody in there. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's just me, my wife, my two boys at the time. My daughter wasn't born. We walk in, and like immediately once we walk in, I look up at the table. I'm like, holy shit, that's freaking Jay Leno just sitting here, like eating in this restaurant, but nobody else. And so I'm like, keep your cool, guys, just sit down. Obviously, the boys don't even know who the heck that is, right?
Yeah.
My wife does. So we sit there and we eat, and we don't want to bother him during dinner. But then he gets up and he walks over to the table, and he's the nicest guy. Yeah, took a photo with us, and so that was really cool.
That's really cool.
And then another time, we were, my son was an actor and still is an actor, and so we're in Beverly Hills, and we walk into this like coffee shop, and we're just sitting there, and I'm just look up, and I'm like, Zach, look, and he's like. And it was freaking John Travolta.
Wow.
John Travolta in
There
a
you go.
coffee shop. He was
That's
sitting
cool.
down having a meeting with his wife at the time and a couple other people. And so my son gets ready to go run. I'm like, no, don't interrupt their meeting.
Yeah.
And so they get up, they get finished. And of course, my son goes running right to him, because he recognized him from so many movies. How do you not recognize John Travolta? And he was like the nicest guy. I was like getting my phone all ready to take a photo. I'm bobbling it. John's like, relax. It's cool, man. Nice to meet you. I'm John. And he spent like 20 minutes just talking to us.
That's awesome.
Such a cool, only in Hollywood experience. Here's one. What drives you the most?
It's a great question. No, you want to answer that first?
What drives you? What gets you up in the morning?
I love of what I do. I do love. I truly enjoy what I do. And I think, just there's always like a fear of failure, right? Like you never want to, there's always something that, just want to make sure you're, especially being a competitive person, like the ability to win in life.
Yeah.
Right? So I think there's definitely that.
I would say the same. And I just, I love life and I love to be a part of it. I'm grateful for every day, Just want to make an impact.
Sure.
And now that we've got this company together and the employees and the people that bust their butt every day to make, everything go, it's all for them. It's a great thing.
And final question here.
Yeah.
So if your dad is looking down on you right now, what's the single most thing that he's most proud of you for?
I think us together.
Yeah.
Doing something great.
Yeah?
Yeah. And having fun. And the people, like, he would love our teammates. Like, he would love our teammates, right? Like, we have great people, and I think he would just get a kick. Well, I know he would, because, some of the business I had started when he was there and when he was here, and there's a lot of teammates that we have that just absolutely love my dad, and he loved them, and so he would just be proud of what we're doing for sure, and the people that we've hopefully attracted and are part of the journey. Like, I think he would be pumped. He'd be smiling for sure on that.
I know that he would love to hand out bars and, you guys got to try this. It's going to be great. You'll love it. Bah, 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 whatever it is, he would be just so excited. So, like, it would be great. I mean, I was walking through the trade show the other day, and our dad loved to go to trade shows. Nothing got him more excited and pumped up to see the new brands, just the energy of the room. And it's cool. And I know he's all around, and, it's just incredible.
We're here at the Emmy building.
Oh, he's here for sure.
Right?
That's
We're here
hysterical.
at the Emmy building
That is really
now.
fun.
It's
So
not
this
a coincidence.
is the Emmy building right there?
So this is the Emmy complex here. Now, I don't know
Wow.
where they did the Emmys back then. It could have been at the Kodak Theater or anything,
Right.
but this is where all the Emmy
So
decisions
cool.
are made, and they're like, hey, we do not want anybody
funny is
coming
that?
in and hosting any, accepting any awards.
That's really funny.
Right?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, here's a little Emmy trivia. So before my dad, like, people would have, like, people coming in and accepting an Emmy for them. Like, there would be like a stand-in. I don't know if you know that.
I
Well,
didn't
now
know
there's
that.
not
Because of
my dad.
Is that
And
right? So
that
they
was
thought he was a
back-
stand-in, possibly.
Possibly.
I see.
And so, like, it kind of, like, went on, right? He wasn't, and then Betty Thomas came in. But ever since that date, like, whoever's presenting the award will, like, hey, they can't be here, da-da-da. And so...
Ever since
So
then.
my dad made a little imprint on the Emmys. There you go.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you both coming down. Two things. How do they keep up with you? Instagram, if they want to follow you. And then the second thing is, how do they learn more about the keto bars and everything else you got going on?
Most definitely. They can follow me, Adam Bremen.
Okay.
And then they can go to our website, Taste Can Do. And then I'm going to give a 25% discount code. Anybody that's listening.
25. Give them more. Oh, there.
All right,
50.
Let's go. We'll go with the 50 keto care. It's 50 keto and then care with a K. K-A-R-E.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Check it out, guys. You will not be disappointed. I promise you.
I love it.
Yeah.
And first of all, thanks, Jason, so much for having us.
Thank you very much,
It's
Jason.
been awesome.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely
very cool.
awesome.
Great
And,
questions.
Great questions.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody in the background. We appreciate you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
It's been so fun. Thanks.
Thank you so much, guys.
Awesome.
Awesome.